Every person who wants to have a crack can come up here and have a good crack. And that's what's appealing to it. Like, there's no big BHP or whatever.
I love the mystery. I love the idea that, you know, Mother Nature keeps her secrets. It's like a natural miracle.
I mean, the biggest problem for the Australian opal industry is getting supply, actually, so demand is outstripping supply.
There's a lot of luck. It's like winning lotto. I never won lotto, but I found a few opals, so it's pretty good.
Australia produces the best and brightest opals on the planet. And right now, the price is booming.
If this goes through maybe a couple more hands, it will command in excess of $20,000 per carat. And we've got a 25 carat stone there.
We work in Asia, Europe and America, and it's running a split between the three.
China is a relatively new market, only a few years old. They're learning very quickly that it's very rare, very valuable, very beautiful, and they're happy to pay very good prices for it.
Opal is not something you can talk about. You've actually got to get in front of the client, and it's got a three-dimensional sense. You can look into the stone. It's just full of dreams, you know.
The vast majority of Australians have no idea of the value and the beauty and the rarity of Australian opal and how important it is in the world gem market.
But selling opals is one thing. Finding it is a different proposition altogether.
An opal miner tells you it's not tough times, they've ever been extremely fortunate, or they're talking bullshit. My name's Kelly Tischler. I live in Lightning Ridge and I've been an opal miner on and off most of my life.
Hopefully there'll be opal in it, if not, back out and keep looking.
Third generation opal miner, so the family's involved. Every day I go out with an opportunity to change my life, and not only change my life but my children's life. You're quick. Good. And my husband and I, we're just a team, and we just go out and have that drive and opportunity, because you never know, one day you might just put a good hole down and then you don't have to worry about anything else really. And there's no guarantee, and that's the thing. You're chasing like a rainbow, hoping to find something, and that whole time you're doing it, you might get absolutely stuff all. Sometimes you think, God, am I just crazy? Why are we doing this? Really, but we don't know any different. Basically, you're a tragic opal miner or you're not.
Lightning Ridge in outback New South Wales is home to the black opal, the rarest and most valuable form of the gem. For more than 100 years, it's been attracting miners from all over the world.
I come from Bavaria, southern Germany. I had first a look around here in that area in '88, and then opal never left my mind. So I thought I better come here and have a go. It's like the old gold rush times. You think, we are all 100 years too late. And when I came here, I said, hey, some things are still happening here. That's what I call here the Black Forest, because that's the timber. There's a few of them in here, and they basically are our life insurance. They hold all the dirt up, because we don't want that coming down on us. But once you find an opal in the wall, when you dig along and say, "Oi, there is an opal here," you know, and you get it there and you see it in the wall, that's just a terrific feeling. Here, I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of color here. That's a very tiny little knobby. 100 million years, nobody has seen that. Nobody ever has seen that thing.
But after 100 years of digging, Lightning Ridge opals are proving to be more elusive than ever.
The industry in 2016 now, we definitely a transformation in our industry. There is a much bigger expectations now. The regulations becoming stricter. At the moment, we are just a little bit down in production, because through the coal boom, we lost a lot of that time, the younger generations. We're trying a few things to attract them for mining, you know, but in the end of the day, you have to find the right spot.
The fall in opal production has some in the industry concerned for its future.
It does look to many people like a finite resource that might only have, 20 or 30 years left. The normal rules of supply and demand don't necessarily apply in the gem industry. As a stone becomes very rare, people see less of it, it can disappear off the gem buying map.
It's like a continuous process of prospecting. Even when you're digging underground, you're prospecting. And you dig and dig and dig and you go broke. You know, you need to be finding some opal. When we get a rush, when a new field's found and there's a good opal production, it just brings a whole lot of people back into the industry.
Well, without new areas to mine, all the other areas, they're gone. They've been mined out. It's not a replenishable resource. It's not like we can go there and keep mining an area out. Once it's gone, out of the ground, cut and sold, that's it. We need more areas open up.
But there's another major stakeholder in Lightning Ridge: farmers.
Look, the farmers that are there are under an enormous stress, and the reason being is that we've got a whole lot of mining activity on private land where they're not following the laws of the land.
Nearly all of the Lightning Ridge opal mining and prospecting occurs on land already leased by farmers for grazing. And for years, the two groups have been at war over access and land rehabilitation.
For me, it looks a little bit like a scene out of a Mad Max movie, to be honest. We've got abandoned mine shafts, environmental issues around mullock heaps, which is the dirt that comes out when you do your mining. That's meant to be rehabilitated once the mine has finished, and those things aren't happening. So it is a bit like the Wild West.
A couple of landowners, they just don't want us there. We are not interested in the agricultural land, we're not in a wheat paddock or something. We are just on the ridge, on the edge of the ridge.
Earlier this year, the New South Wales government stepped in to try and ease the conflict. It launched a voluntary surrender scheme, offering to buy out disputed land from farmers to make it available for future mining. For now, though, the battle continues. New South Wales farmers and the Lightning Ridge Miners Association were back in court last week over more land access issues.
The regulations and the laws are there. What we want to see is better enforcement of that.
But many miners believe it's not just new land that's needed to reinvigorate the industry.
Overseas, they're doing great guns. But as far as field prices, it hasn't come anywhere near what we should be getting for our product. And it's a shame because what they don't realise is by starving us, they're going to starve their own industry. This is where the heartbreak starts, because you might think it's going to be a good stone and then there's so many things that can go wrong with it.
It's very much rarer than diamonds, and that should reflect in the price. So I reckon our opal at the moment are much too cheap.
Millions and millions of years old found under our feet. It's something we shouldn't be wasting because there's not much of it left.